This is Calvin Pompana. I'm president of the White Buffalo Spiritual Society. It's been incorporated in 1999. And the reason why it was incorporated is because it was going to bring the traditions and ceremonies of our people here, in particular Manitoba, for the Cree and the Ojibwe and Ojibwe and Dene and the Eskimos, and also to the Dakotas. This song is to honor those people that have gone to the spirit world far too early because of COVID-19. Certainly affected a lot of elders globally. So this song is in honor of them, but it's also in honor of frontline workers and those people that have tried to help our people of all nations, of the black, red, yellow, and white. The song Ate means the creator of all things, the higher power. This is a song that people sing when people die and go to the spirit world. And it's a song to honor especially elders globally, and also to on reserves and other places here in Canada and in Manitoba, but also to those senior homes that are on reserves in Manitoba and across Canada. It's a song that honors our people. You know, we know that instant we're born, and the instant we come out of the womb of our mothers, you know, we are approaching the time when the Creator calls us to go to the spirit world. So with that time, we don't know when that's going to happen, but we are preparing for it. And there's so many young people committing suicide because of COVID-19 and to our children that are born with COVID-19. So we pray that those children will overcome the sickness. Now the second song is a water song, and this water song has been sung for many years in our family, going back 7 generations. And the song has to do with, the gift of life is water. Without water, without the sun, without the stars, without the moon, and without Mother Earth's, there will be no life here on Mother Earth. This is a song that I heard many times, and I'll sing it first and then talk a little bit about it. Neepekan Hunt te wachidaga wache wagiedo pteskawi iya onichia biedo Neepekan Hunt te wachidaga wache wagiedo wagia oyate nichia biedo fabulous. Neepekan Hunt means that water is holy. If you don't take care of that water and take care of the things that are living in water, it becomes desecrated. And it doesn't need a lot of waste to kill the spirit in the water. And that's what's happening. Like here in Manitoba, we have 100,000 lakes. I'm hoping that, that 75% of them are still pure, and we haven't contaminated. But, the dams that were built here in Manitoba, for instance, have taken a lot of land away from the people in the north whose trap lines are now underwater, and the graves again are underwater. So that's terrible to do that. And really, we don't need that much power from water. All ceremonies done by indigenous nations have to do with protecting the water, protecting the mountains, protecting the four winds, protecting Grandmother the Moon. The Grandmother the Moon is also upset because of all the waste that goes into all the lakes and rivers and oceans all over this world. So our people communicated with the Creator, communicated with the grandfather, the sun, grandmother, the moon, the stars, and of course it also protected Mother Earth. But Mother Earth is in dire need of the past desecration that's been happening about 300 years ago. With that, I say, mitakos.
Hello, my name is Maggie Yeboah. I'm a member of the African Communities of Manitoba, and I sit on the steering council, the executive board. Before I go on, I would like to acknowledge that I've made Canada my home, but I'm a guest here, and I'm grateful to our Indigenous people for sharing their land with us. It is my privilege to be here and bring greetings from the African Communities of Manitoba on this occasion of another celebration of Indigenous power and multicultural gathering. I have been with the White Buffalo Spiritual Society for the past 3 years, and my role is sitting on the planning committee in helping with organizing the annual All-Nation Power and Multicultural Gathering. At this point, I would like to acknowledge the shocking and sad news of the recovery of a total of over 1,148 unmarked grave of children, little souls that were found and more yet to be found. As an immigrant and as a parent, I stand with our Indigenous people and all the survivors of the residential school all across the country, and especially with the children whose souls were taken away, the children who did not make it home. Out of respect and dignity and the rights of these little children, the African Communities of Manitoba also stands in solidarity with all our Indigenous people all over the country. All Nation Indigenous Power and Multicultural Gathering is very important to me because it embraces diversity and offers a shared space for our different cultures. Multiculturalism in Canada was adopted by the government in the 1970s and 1980s, which emphasized the social importance of immigration, tolerance, and respect for diversity. Multiculturalism gives us immigrants the space and freedom to maintain and share our culture. It is upon this that White Buffalo Society organizes the annual event to bridge all the cultures together in a respectful way. It creates an awareness for our multiculturalism in this country and creates an opportunity for us to appreciate Canada's cultural, ethnicity, and geographical diversity. We will like to acknowledge Elder Calvin Pompana, President of the White Buffalo Society, for taking the initiative, the knowledge, and his vision for this gathering. We would also like to acknowledge our founders and thank them, the Canadian Heritage, very much for sponsoring our event. On behalf of the African Communities of Manitoba, ACOMI, I say congratulations for another virtual event, and thank you all for being a part of this special event between Indigenous and multicultural communities of Manitoba. Miigwech.
Dante, Anin, hello my relatives. For those of you that don't know me, I was given a name over 33 years ago, Pimuse Maingan, which means walking wolf in the Ojibwe language. I come from both Cree and Ojibwe background. I'm a member of Peguis First Nation and a Treaty 1 descent on both my grandmother's side and my grandfather's side. My name is Ray Stevenson. Everybody kind of calls me Coco. I figured I'd share a song with you, and this song I made over 30 years ago. It's in the Cree language and it translates to, I am so happy to see when you dance for people. Simply because of the fact that we are told by our elders, when you sing, when you dance, you do that for the people. And I wanted to let the dancers know, when I see them dancing, I am so happy to see them when they are dancing for the people. I hope.
Bonjour. My name is Lorne Stevenson. I come from the Jacket Reserve, also known as Kinewishtigan. We're actually situated in the length of Lake Winnipeg. We're right in the middle on the west side, so we have a lot of beachfront property. It's a great place to lay family. It's got a lot of Aboriginal history. Years and years ago, when our waters and our river systems were our highways, we had many people stop in, passing through on their way up north and down south and back and forth and so on. We've had a lot of ceremonies. And I grew up with my grandparents. I was raised by my grandparents from the time I was about 2 weeks old up until I was probably in my 40s. I still let them raise me. Anyways, I started dancing probably about 16, 17, 18 years ago. And I had danced earlier as a child. And then with going to residential school and whatnot, and I kind of stepped back a little bit. And as I got older, graduated, found a job, had a family, my kids started to dance. So they've been dancing since they were babies. It's been over 30 years now, I guess they've been at it. And then my youngest one kind of got me into the culture a little bit, and I watched them dance. I took them to powwows, I did their hair, I did their outfits. So before I started dancing, I started to learn these things, and I talked to a lot of the old dancers, a lot of the old people. So I actually had a pretty good background before I actually stepped into the circle. And the reason I didn't step in earlier, because my kids were so small, I had to dress them, do their hair, and just do a bunch of things. And for me to dance and for them to dance, it was pretty much near impossible. I kind of had to wait till they grew up a little bit. They could kind of, look after themselves a bit. And I enjoy it. It's a great culture. You get to meet a lot of people. You get to make a lot of friends, no matter where you go. And it's gotten so that I've kind of passed on a lot of knowledge that I've learned in teaching younger kids to dance, in making regalia, and how to conduct themselves and some of the protocols and stuff like that. Back then we had to go through a ceremony in order to dance. You had to go through an initiation ceremony. If you wanted your face painted, you kind of had to go through a face paint ceremony thing. So everything we had to do, we had to prepare for. Nowadays, it's a little different. You just throw on an outfit and out there you go. But the main thing is that, you have fun, you listen to the drum, and it comes from your heart. So when I'm dancing, I'm not so much focused on the chants and stuff like that as I am the drum beat. All my focus when I'm dancing is listening to that beat and trying to connect and have some kind of flowing motion with it, because the drum you can actually learn a lot from. It tells you so many things. For example, a pow song comes with 4 verses, and then you have those boom, 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 those check beat things. So that tells you that you're going to be coming close to that next lead, or the push-up sometimes they call it. So you have about maybe 10-15 seconds before that guy takes that lead. And there's 4 of them. So you kind of keep track as you're dancing. When you know you're into the 4th one, you know you're going into that last push-up. So it kind of tells you where you are in the song. And it's something to kind of watch out for as a dancer. And it's something that I keep in the back of my mind. There's a lot of great people out there, all kinds of different nationalities. I've met people from overseas, England, Africa. And the one thing about that is we're all connected to that drum. Like the Chinese, the Japanese, the African, we're all connected to that drum. And that kind of, it brings us together in a way. So anyways, I just want to wish you good health, good luck, and we'll talk to you soon.
Bonjour, Nishkawasige Dekwe Nindijnikas, Rosa River Nindunji. My name is Kelly Chinchilla. I've been fancy shawl dancing for about 8 years now, almost 9 years. I did not grow up dancing fancy shawl. My story is that I started dancing after my own daughter was dancing Pow Wow. When she was 2 years old, I took her to a Pow Wow club, and she started dancing right away. She had no shame in dancing, no embarrassment. She was so young as a toddler, and she just stepped into that circle at a Pow Wow club and started dancing, and she loved it. And she was watching all the mentors there, all the dance instructors, and that just seemed to be so natural for her. So as soon as she started dancing, I started to learn how to make the regalia. I had help from some family and friends. My mom helped me also. And then so we made my daughter her first regalia, which was Jingle. And she was dancing for almost a whole year before I even thought of dancing. So I was taking my daughter to Pow Wow clubs on my own. I was a single parent, taking her to powwows, and I really wanted her to grow up with learning about the traditions, learning about our culture, and feeling proud about it. And she seemed to love it so much. So I was taking her to Pow Wow clubs and powwows, and I started feeling like I wanted to be in there in the circle with her, and all the friends that we were making, and the connections, and then also just the pull to the Pow Wow circle. When you go to a powwow, you could feel the energy from the drum, the spirit of the drum, the spirit of all the dancers and their regalia, and just the energy that's there in the powwow, in the circle. So I started feeling like I really wanted to start dancing. So one night I had a dream that I was dancing fancy shawl, and I saw my regalia in the dream, and so that's when I took that as a sign that I was ready to start dancing. So I started practicing in my basement, practicing at Pow Wow club, and then eventually, once I got my regalia together with some help from the friends and people that I knew from Pow Wow, I had my regalia, and I was able to start dancing about almost 9 years ago. So I've been dancing fancy shawl ever since then. And some of the teachings I learned about the style of dance is that it's known as a butterfly dance. I've learned that it comes from the Crow Agency. There were a group of young women that they wanted to dance the men's fancy category, because men's fancy is known as the fastest. It's kind of like an athletic type of style of dance. It's really fast. There's lots of complex moves, and the dancer basically trains to be able to dance that hard and that fast in that category. So there were young women who wanted to dance that style, and they started wearing the men's fancy regalia. This is the story that I heard at powwows, and I heard people telling this story. And they were wearing the men's fancy outfits for a while, until after a while the women got their own category, their own separate category. And it eventually evolved into what it looks like today, with the shawl, with that dress, and the really bright colors and the beadwork that you see fancy shawl dancers wearing. So that really appealed to me, the story about the butterfly, because it's a caterpillar that goes into a cocoon, and then they come out this beautiful butterfly. It's a change, and it's really beautiful. And that story really appealed to me, because that was kind of my journey with dancing. I never thought I would be a dancer. I never thought, I was very shy. I was also, had social anxiety, stuff like that. And once I started dancing and seeing how proud my daughter was and how good it was for her, I wanted that for myself. So another reason I dance also is because I want my daughter, if I want my daughter to continue with the traditions and living this life, walking this way, I need to be an example for her. I need to do it too. We need to live this way. So that's another reason why I embraced, the dancing and this part of our culture. Dancing is not just, dancing powwow is not our only part of Indigenous culture. There's many different aspects, but dancing really empowered me. The drum, the connections, the community connections, all the friends, family, all that stuff that I basically learned once I started dancing. So today I teach at different powwow clubs. I'm a teacher at Riverbend School here in Winnipeg, and we have a powwow club there and many powwow clubs in Seven Oaks School Division. And these are some of the teachings I share with dancers who are wanting to learn how to dance powwow. And that's my story that I like to share. So, miigwech. The Mother Earth song. This song I learned about 10 years ago when I first started singing at a drum. I actually started singing at a big drum, a woman's big drum, at the Thunderbird House here in Winnipeg. I was mentored by a few Indigenous female matriarchs in the community who they've taught many other women how to sing, not just how to sing, but those important ceremony songs. And those big drum songs that are for women to sing, that are about healing and empowerment. The Mother Earth song is one of the first songs that I've learned to sing. So that's the song I'm gonna sing here today. I learned this song from my auntie Cheryl James and from Chickadee Richard and Connie Westbuck, just to name a few women who sat at the drum a long time ago when I first started singing. So this is the Mother Earth song, and I will sing 4 push-ups of this song. So in a hand drum song, before I start singing, the singer sings the verses 4 times over, and they're sometimes called push-ups. So there will be 4 push-ups to a song. Sometimes there might be 7 or even more, depending on if you're singing for a hoop dancer or if it's a certain special ceremony song. So usually it's 4 push-ups. So that's what you're gonna hear, is that same verse being sung over 4 times. known as the Turtle Song, Mikinek song. It's in the Anishinaabe language. I sing this song and I teach my students in my classroom this song. My students learn the language through singing and songs. And I noticed that they catch on with the language a lot more easier when you know, they hear these drum songs. So here's one of the more popular ones that the kids seem to like singing also. So it talks about, in the language, it talks about the turtle. As you know, we call North America Turtle Island. And the lyrics in this song talk about the turtle actually flying, the spirit of the turtle flying over the people and protecting the people and watching the people live on Turtle Island. So this is the Turtle Song, and it's sung in Anishinaabe.
Ryan, we're from the Dust Rhinos. We're going to play some tunes today and hope you enjoy them. And thanks for the White Buffalo Society for putting all of this on and making it all happen. It's great to get out and play music for people. And everybody stay safe, and we hope to see you all again in person real soon. So go at your ease, boy, go as you please. Move your point, stay your peace, hold your temper, hold your tongue. Wait for your moment to come, and it will come, and then raise the road before you. Raise the road before you, got to go raise the road before you go. You've got to raise the road before you. Raise the road before you, got to go raise the road before you go. Minnie's the hero now, Minnie's the breeze stolen. Beneath the harbor broken long before you came to me, long before you came to me, long race, go stay on your feet, doing what you need. Eat, drink, sleep, and take your seat for the corner. Stand your ground, throw your shape and don't back down, and then raise the road before you. Raise the road before you. Got to go raise the road before you go. You got to raise the road before you. Raise the road before you. Got to go raise the road before you go. You got one night to live, boy, that's a lot. Start to the top, to the tippity top, you need your best shot. Show us what you got, sow your seeds and collect your crop, and then raise the road before you. Raise the road before you, got to go raise the road before you go. You got to raise the road before you. Raise the road before you, got to go raise the road before you go. Well, go. quick she heads around, round. Do it Sunday, my dear honey. Oh, you dear girl, standing as a Buddha. And always did. I go out and my money and my lady friend we're gone. There was I went out to Snitchers and Palmio and blew it Sunday, my dear Annie. Oh, you dear girl, standing as the moon go.
This is the Paradize band, and lead vocal we got Paula, Cassie, Nolly on bass, and myself, Clyde, on steel drums and guitar. We're gonna start with a little Caribbean tune called Pump Me Up. Pump me up with the music, pump me up. Pump me up with the music, pump me up. Pump me up with the music, pump me up.
Oh God, oh God, oh God. It's the vibe feeling right from this steady all night. It's the vibe feeling right from this steady all night. Papi say, we only talk about the music. Papi say, a heavy dose of the music grooving. Every day, never cry me down.
Goes on having
All
fun.
we want is some music all night long.
Till the party done.
Play the music big and strong.
Goes on having fun.
From the funk, straight to the jump, up to the down.
Pump me up with the music, pump me up. Pump me up with the music, pump me up. Pump me up with the music, pump me up.
All night me jamming.
Pump me up with the music, pump me
All
up.
the sessions are jumping. Oh gosh, oh gosh, oh God. If the vibe's feeling right, rock me steady all night. If the vibe's feeling right, rock me steady all night.
Yeah, a little stroke of music out of Trinidad and Tobago. All right, we're going to move on to a Bob Marley song. Incidentally, the instrument I was playing, the steel drum, was made from an oil barrel, and this is how it looks. And through 9 steps, they brought it from a barrel to a musical instrument. The last musical instrument to have been invented back in the 50s, the steel drum. We're going to start up with now a little Bob Marley tune called No Woman No Cry.
And this is for all the women, the missing and murdered Aboriginal women. Remember to stand strong. Stand up for your rights, because there is hope.
Said I remember
a little bit of No Woman, No Cry. Thank you all for having us, and hope to see you around. Have a safe summer. Actually, summer is always coming to an end. So, have a good day then. Thank you, and say goodbye, Paula,
Thank you.
Cassie,
Merci
Molly.
beaucoup. Thank you.
Bless you all.
Hello and good afternoon, everybody. Today we are bringing you live performances from the Ivan Flett Memorial Dancers. So please welcome to the floor with 7 changes of the Red River Jig, the Ivan Flett Memorial Dancers. So what you just saw was a nice warm-up dance from the Ivan Flett Memorial Dancers. A little bit about ourselves. We are the Ivan Flett Memorial Dancers, and we base right here out of Winnipeg, Manitoba. Our purpose and mission is to bring hope, motivation, and inspiration to people everywhere, young and old, near and far. We travel the world with this dance, hoping to share and spread our culture through the Red River Jig. In doing so, these kids get to travel to many places, get to meet many people, and we are so pleased to be doing what we are doing. So thank you so much for enjoying the video here today. We've got a couple more dances for you. And up next, we're gonna bring up Jacob and Sienna Harris to do a couples demonstration of the Red River Jig. These two happen to be 3-time world jigging champions. So here they are with 3 changes of the Red River Jig, Jacob and Sienna Harris. Well, I hope you're liking what you're seeing so far. I know I sure am. So up next, the kids are going to finish her off with their big finale. It's called a breakdown, and it's a little mixture of everything that you saw, all rolled into one. So here they go with their big finale, the Ivan Flett Memorial Dancers with the Red River Jig and breakdown.
Drum Café, we're super excited and honored to be here. We very much appreciate being invited by the White Buffalo Spiritual Society, and yet this is our, I think, our second time to be involved in the All Nations Powwow and Multicultural Gathering. We'd like to share some of the rhythms and some of the dances that we do. These come from West Africa. We have a dance called Soko, and we have a dance called Yankadi Makru. We're playing djembe drums, and we have two fantastic dancers, and that's all I'm going to say. So get ready, let's do it. before we get into our last number, what I wanted to share with you is a little bit about what Drum Cafe does and what we're all about. Drum Cafe was actually a company that started up in Johannesburg, South Africa, a number of years back. Following apartheid, the members of the group figured that the drumming was an excellent way to bring the diverse communities together to kind of learn how to work as one. And that's kind of the idea that's expanded from there. And Drum Cafe is now it's based all over the world, and we're leading the group here in Winnipeg, and we will go into companies or organization events, and we provide drums for everyone to play as a way of team building and just an excellent way of community building, essentially. We've got more than 500 drums that we'll sometimes use at these events, and just to see the way people can come together, play the drums in a very short period of time is very magical. It's very powerful, and it's a great experience. So I just want to share a little bit about what else Drum Cafe does. All right, and we'll get into our last number. I hope you've enjoyed our presentation, and thank you once again to the White Buffalo Spiritual Society.
Zilo hazina eh! Zilo hazina oh hazina eh! Fire! Zilo hazina eh! Zilo hazina oh hazina eh! Fire!
So every year we present at the Folklorama, and so we're going to be dancing to 3 Nigerian songs, which are mixes of, so they are combinations of different songs. We're going to be dancing to that today. Enjoy as you watch.
Skibo! Skibo! Feels Mr. Producer!
Feels Mr. Producer.
You know say I know big baroof, and I know like a woof. Emi o waye maya, set the roof on fire. Throw the money in the air, but I need to buy wire. I set my level too low, Baba God they lift me higher. All my bullet show, if anybody come, I go put them in their place. I don't do real estate, I manage well, but
hold on, they gonna link up and down. The makeup. Shatta Wale.
Bloquons le PTT, on va se rire, danse, pousse, il t'envoie la foule, oh mon ami, danse, pousse, garde pour le coin, aïe aïe, maman, sukota, mamoulé, aïe aïe, maman, sigi, oh, vite, fais ton malin, fais ton boucan, fais des bruits, enjaille-toi, mets-toi à l'aise, fais-toi plaisir, c'est ta vie, aïe aïe, belele, kala, moi, belele, kilele, belele, makerena, belele, oh, sidi la tiare, belele, diamant rouge, belele, western de volta, belele, Massaoudou, Kwasa, alert,
by the way they buzz brain.
Maven.
Longest, who no go no. Outings on the beat, who know yeah, must hear. Say Ricardo on this one, yeah. When me you there, when just know that to mix my gino, oh. When me you there, when girls no greet to dance my disco, oh. When me you there, when Napa no greet to shine the lights, oh. When me you there, when man no sleep they walk all night. Don't just sign, small boy. Small boy done, a biggie man. Small boy buy your mama house. Small boy drive a biggie car. Blessing follow the small boy. Oh, yeah.
Original Mr. Flavor for the dance hall, the dance now.
On the beat.
Girl. Dr. Amir.
Who is in the garden? A very sexy, shapy girl. Delay, Mr. Songs. Hey, money. Feel it, baby, feel it. Feel it, my baby, feel it. Feel it, my baby, feel it. Feel it, my baby, feel it. Africa, baby boo,
don't get a lot, God do it. And I don't pay my rent, God do it. There be one for my hand, but God do it. There be one keep my joy, but God do it. I say anything them do, now God do it. No, now God do it. No, now God do it, no. Anything them do, now God do it. No, now God do it. No, now God do it, no. I don't change my name to God do it.
Moi ça me débarre, je connais ton plan déjà. Pour ma voix c'est pas comme ça, blaguer tu es. C'est pas bon d'air. Couper, décaler, ça me plaît. Couper, faut décaler. Décaler. Couper, décaler. Couper, faut décaler. Décaler. Couper, faut décaler. Décaler. Couper, décaler. Décaler. Couper, faut décaler.
Vivant, vivant, coupé, décalé, tia, coupé, décalé. That's so. He's daddy, yeah. G-O-Y, yeah. No be you a carry go. Wonder you a go carry go. Sisi a carry go. Yeah, yo. No be you a the take on no. Wonder you a wanna no. Sisi Ferrari, yo. Yeah, yo. Baby sweet, yeah. Baby nice, yeah. Baby to the taxi, my little boy, I don't need. What's in my body, I walk by. Oh, I feel my puta, say me. What you want? Baby, boy, I want you. Boy, I want you. Baby, boy, I want you.
Bonjour, Pomokian Disnikas, Manitoba Quad Disnikas, Wasi Atotem. Those are my First Nations names that were given to me long ago. Actually, my first name was given to me at birth. Manitoba was given later on in ceremony. So my very first name that was given to me, Pomokian, means the sun rising. And when I was born, we have a ceremony at home, and where our parents usually give our Indian names given to us, and there's a ceremony that's involved, and it's very, very traditional for back home for me and upbringing. So it's really nice to have. And then I would say the second name that was given to me was in ceremony when I was about 13 years old, and we had a ceremony that was called a blackout ceremony, and you don't really hear too much about that ceremony anymore, but it was conducted, I think it took roughly about 4 hours, and it was a beautiful ceremony, and at the end was given and gifted a second name, which is the Great Black Bear. And Wasi Atotem, where that comes from, is it's our clan, and it's the catfish. So there's a lot of things that you have to understand growing up where I'm from, to understand your Indian names and what they mean, understand your clan, so that when you go to other places and other Anishinaabe people meet you, they understand that they might be a family member of yours, and I think of the times that we've had, I was always thought that I was one of the, I think that was gifted to be given this opportunity to have my language taught to me at a young age. So, and then when I think about the ceremonies that we had to have it, there's a lot of things that are given during that ceremony, and the gifts that you give back. I think that it always comes from the heart, so you always have to think about kindness of that person that's gifting that to you, that elder that you're asking for help when you offer tobacco and a gift. that something from the heart is what I was always taught. So when I think about the lucky ones, for me, I know a lot of First Nations don't have the knowledge about their indigenous names. So, and when I think about that, that's just where I'm very happy to say that, it's really important to have. So it holds a lot of gifts when I think about it. So now I will talk a little bit more in depth with the clan that was given. So it's really important to understand that our clan system, it's where I'm from in Ontario is a Ojibwe territory. We follow our father's clan system. And so what your father's clan is what you take. So it doesn't mean that it's right or wrong. It's a teaching that in all teachings that you will learn in life, that there's a process that was happening in your family and the things that were learned. And so I always look at that as a very important, when you think about kigu, the fish is always, these are all your brothers and sisters. So when you say your name out loud, they're supposed to say, hey, hello, puju, I know who you are, your family. So very important to learn those, and I can't express that anymore and what that means to me. So just like my medallion I have here, it was given to me, gifted as well. And it's always a reminder of Manitoba, so the great black bear. I wear this always, not when I'm doing traditional stuff. That's very important to me. I treat this with a lot of care and a lot of heart that comes from it, especially when I speak about our traditions, anything that I've ever learned, from back home when I was a young boy, I used to get all my teachings from all my different family members and my parents, brothers and sisters, and they all had something to teach, whether it be learning about fishing, hunting, picking medicines. That was so key and vital about being an Anishinaabe and living in a small town growing up. So there's always things that you can go back to, and that's something that draws me back. And when I think about being humble about who I am, and I think about everyone back home, and always like my parents and my family members that have always given me teachings, taken me to sweat lodges, always to be very respectful. Anytime you see people, just always be respectful. It was always key no matter what you did. Ceremony-wise, there's so many different ceremonies that are out there that I was gifted to be a part of. There was sweat lodges of all different kinds. Just in my area of Treaty 3 in Ontario, from where I'm from, there's so many different sweat lodges that there's not one that's the same. So you're gonna learn so much that's out there. So thank you for the time, Jermaine.
Bonjour, my name is Wayne Ruby. I come from St. River First Nation, Ontario. And this drum's name is Wapshgeganu De Wagon, which means white eagle drum. Warrior eagle drum, actually, my bad. And I really want to explain about the backstory of the drum. What I've been told was, backstory about it was the story of Omanakwe. Was the best way I can interpret the story was a long time ago when we used to live on the land, live in the plains and the prairies. There was, we used to live in the teepees, we used to live in huts, and we used to follow the animals wherever they went. And how the drum came to be was they were out in the field and out doing their daily routines, and what happened was, I can't remember if it's the red coats or blue coats, but one of those coats came to the village. I believe it's the blue coats if I can remember. Came to the village and they attacked that village. They raided that village. They wanted to basically take over that land. And what happened, they burned down teepees, they burned down the huts. And there was one woman there, her name was Omanakwe. When she was there, the elders told her to run towards the river. When she ran towards the river, ran towards out of that area, what happened was she ran towards it. She saw a bunch of weeds that were coming out, a bunch of little stems. And the Creator spoke to her and told her to go in the water, to hide to use one of the stems and hide on the water. And the Spirit told her to stay under there until basically tell her to come up. So what happened, she went towards that river. She stayed underwater with that stem breathing through that little tube. And she stayed down there. What I've been told was stayed down there for about four nights. And on that fourth night, she risen what the Creator told her. The Spirit told her to rise. She risen and she was very hungry. So what happened was the Spirit told her to go back to that village. And when she went back to that village wasn't there anymore. What happened was it was a military settlement. They had the blue coats were there, and they're all waiting, they're feasting, they're drinking, they're having a good time. And she was very scared to go there, but the Spirit told her to go. No one won't see her, just lay low. And what happened was that Spirit guided her along that path, and she was walking by the soldiers and all that. When she found the food, she ate as much as she can. She grabbed much, she put some in a little backpack, a little knapsack that she had. And when she got out of that settlement, the Spirit told her to walk east and continue walking east. Just keep going. And what happened was she kept walking towards the east. And about another 4 days went by when she kept walking, using that food to keep her energy alive. What happened was when she got up to the top of the hill, that Spirit told her to stop. And when she stopped, the Spirit told her to look up. And when she looked up, she saw a light. And when she was looking at that light, it was coming closer and closer and closer. And as getting closer, out came, she was looking at the image, but it wasn't very blurry, but it was coming closer and closer. And as coming closer, she was able to see that drum, that they wagon, and Ojibwe means drum. And when I got closer, she started seeing that skirt that was around that drum. And when I got closer, she started seeing the stands by that drum. But the stands had those staffs. And as it got closer and closer, she was able to see more detail on that drum. About the pipe, she was able to see the rock. She was able to see the ribbons. She was able to see the feathers. And the Creator spoke to her and said, the Spirit actually spoke to her and told her basically about the teachings behind that drum, about that it'll unify and bring that community back together. It'll bring those local tribes to basically come and form, basically be there for each other kind of thing. And when she did that, when that star vanished, she went back to her elders, told about the story of what happened. She went to a local village, and what happened was they all got together and they built that drum the way she saw it in her vision. And the reason why I have my drum like this above the ground is to represent the Thunderbirds, where I come from. And that drum I explained about the staffs. That drum was it was a healing drum, but it was more based on the Ojibwe teachings. And when you look at this drum, the one I have, I had it for about maybe 6 years now, but it represents my home because that drum is never supposed to touch that ground. It's always supposed to be on that stand. And what I've been told about it, if you look at the hide is made from that animal. What I've been told is this hide was actually buffalo before. And the wood is actually cedar. And that cedar is from a tree, and that tree gives life. And same thing with that, the drum, it gives that life. It gives that power. And what I've been told, my teachings was that the bottom of the drum represents Mother Earth. The top of the drum that you see right here represents the sky. So when that sound is made, it travels up. And when I look at these, when you look at these little things that are tied around the drum, they could represent the animals, they could represent the insects, they could represent us, they could represent the mother, it could represent the father, and that unity, that man, the woman, that unity, that pride, that's how it keeps it together. That's how that strong is. When you take care of the drum, it take care of you. And what I've been told about the drum was it's one beat, one nation, one voice. So when there's many singers singing together, we all sound as one. When it's sounded together, it all sounds as one. And no matter where you go, no matter how far you travel, that's all when you see these singers get together around that drum, they'll always have that one voice, that one beat, and they'll represent that nation, that unity. So that drum brings a lot of healing, a lot of power, and it represents the heartbeat of Mother Earth, the heartbeat of all creation. And the reason why a lot of people are connected to it was when they're in their mother's womb, they're able to connect in that kind of way. Because when they're in their mother's womb, all they heard was her heartbeat. And when you hear that heartbeat, that represents this. The drum represents the heartbeat, but it represents the heartbeat of the nation. That's how people are connected to it. There's many different stories about the drum, but that's one. And I'd like to say, miigwech, thank you.
Tanse anin buju wapan gisagawi pisim esqueo natis nakasan namama oche Matthias Colomb Cree Nation Agwanapapa Lake St. Martin First Nation Winnipeg Manitoba Nitochin. Hello my fellow relatives, my English name is Shanley Spence. My spirit name in the Nahithao language translates to Dawn Woman, and I come here today born and raised here in Winnipeg, Manitoba, but my Cree Nahithao ancestry comes from my mother's community known as Matthias Colomb Cree Nation up in Pucketawagan, and my Anishinaabe or Ojibwe roots come from my father's side of the family from his community known as Lake St. Martin First Nation. And I come here today to bring forward the beautiful traditional Indigenous hoop dance. And this hoop dance is a healing dance, it's a storytelling dance. So make sure to open your mind, open your heart, open your spirit to see what you can see through the formations and the tricks that I create, and to really feel into what you're feeling inside and what feelings evoke within your own physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual vessel. And this hoop is also a circle of life. So my hoop here has the 4 directions taped onto it, and those also symbol those 4 directions and aspects of life that we should all keep in balance throughout our journey in the circle of life. So making sure we're in balance with our bodies, our physical vessel, making sure we're balanced and feeling really good in our mental health, and having a clear, open mind, learning and growing new things, all that kind of stuff. And then the 3rd direction moves into our emotional side of life. So what we're feeling, leading with our heart space, making sure we express our emotions in a healthy way, being aware of our emotions, all things like that. And then the final direction, of course, being the spiritual side of life, which is up to interpretation for each and every one of you, because there's so many ways to access and ignite your own inner spirit, and then also feel connected to the greater spirit at hand, whether that's creator, creation, God, whatever you want to call it. And then also realizing that all those 4 directions within us is all interconnected and all part of the same thing, if that makes sense. So this hoop dance is a very beautiful thing, and it brings forward many, many beautiful teachings to all who are able to watch it and to witness it. And we, as Indigenous peoples all across Turtle Island, we dance, we sing, we drum for those who can't dance, for those who couldn't dance, for those who are sick. We dance for the future generations. We dance for our elders to show them that these traditions are staying alive and being ignited and reclaimed. And there's so many reasons greater than ourselves that we do these things and that we do these traditions. And so I'm really grateful, really honored to be here today, virtually with you here, sharing space emotionally with you and physically here. And I really hope you enjoy the dance. Thanks for having me. Kina naskmet nawao, egose.
my name is Neepekan Hunt. I'm from Northwest Angle 37 in Ontario. My mom's from there and my dad is from Packatawagan, Manitoba. That's in northern Manitoba. So I just wanted to speak today a little bit on jingle dress making. And I've been making jingle dresses now for 30 years. I wanted to show some examples of some of the dresses that I've made recently, but I've made hundreds of jingle dresses in the time that I've been making them. I just wanted to give a little example of different styles. So this dress is very old style. This dress was probably made in the 70s, not by me, but my auntie gave it to me, and she wanted me to keep it and pass it on to a young girl when they grow older. So I'll probably share it with my granddaughter when she grows old enough to fit it. You can see that it's much different from these more contemporary style ones. It's made from old cans, and these are hand rolled. You can see the jingles. And then these dresses were made more recently, and you can see the difference in fabric and materials. There's more sparkly. The one I'm making is quite sparkly. And then this one is just more shiny. And now, recently, they started making jingles that are colored. So these jingles are made from a young Anishinaabe woman from Swan Lake. She's realized that jingles should be made by Indigenous people, so she started a business. So I just support her as much as I can. So these jingles are blue, and she made them to represent healing from intergenerational trauma and addictions awareness for First Nations Indigenous communities. And then the red ones, the red jingles, are made for awareness of missing murdered Indigenous women and girls. So I wanted to show my friend Melanie. She's wearing a nice dress. I didn't make it, but I just want to show the different, you can make dresses too now, and with nice cottons and stuff. So that's what I wanted to just share today, that I made jingle dresses, and I've been making regalia for so long now, and I make regalia for people all over Turtle Island, and it's really a great way to spend your time, and you get to reduce anxieties, I guess, and you get to pray for the person that you're making the regalia for. And I've made regalia for my whole family, and we just enjoy the Pow Wow lifestyle. Mind you, over the last couple of years, we haven't really gone to many powwows because of the situation, but we're looking forward to continuing the powwow life in the future. So